learning how to write well and learning how to write sales copy and learn how to get points across and get your ideas across with the written word in a clear and concise way. If you start to practice that, you're going to watch your effectiveness skyrocket.
All right, you ready for some rapid fire questions?
Let's do it.
What do people misunderstand about you?
I think I have to put a certain persona on Twitter to get points across. Sales copy is harsh. I write punchy. I write arrogant. I have kind of very strong opinions on Twitter. But what people don't understand is that they're pretty loosely held opinions. I change my mind often, and the way that you win on Twitter is different than the way that you win in life. So I'm not a arrogant jerk like you may think of when you read my tweets.
Well, I love the fact that it's a game, right? I mean, there's different games within this game of life. So you approach Twitter like any other game. Your 300,000 plus followers must be doing something right with that game. What's one of your biggest failures? I mean, looking back, and you can frame it however you want. Some people don't like to call things failures, but do-over, regret, in your entrepreneurial journey, what would you look back at and say, I would have done this differently?
That's a good question. I didn't start these businesses soon enough. I've had influence online for 3 or 4 years now, and I didn't get serious about it until more recently. But no, I think I've been blessed. I haven't made a serious mistake that really set me back. I haven't went bankrupt. I haven't lost any properties. I haven't, really let down anybody close to me from a poor decision that I made. So
Okay.
There's minor things, like I could nitpick my whole life and think of 300 or 400 things that I made a poor decision on, or I wish I would have done differently.
Right.
But I wish I'd have started buying storage earlier and I gotten more serious about buying it instead of building it. But no, I think I can't point to any major regrets. And I'm pretty blessed there.
That's awesome. So yeah, and this isn't written in my questions, but with 10 different businesses that you're involved in, what does your week look like? How do you spend your time?
So I have a team of people that help me run the companies. I have a marketing officer, I have a copywriter, I have a video editor, I have a operator, I have an HR person who's running payroll. I mean, so it's I have a lot of help, and I also, I'm pretty careful about who I select to run these companies, make sure they're pretty good at building teams, and they're not going to be somebody who has no idea what they're doing when it comes to running a business. So I spend about half my time on content and growing my personal brand, because that fuels all these companies and drives opportunities. I spend the other half of my time interacting with these operators and running these companies.
Got it. Awesome. If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self some advice, what would that be?
Man, I'm glad I don't know how good it can be and how fun entrepreneurship can be, or I would never have done that first 3-year slog or 5-year slog in that business. Like, that was just so hard and brutal, and there were so many easier ways to make money that I probably would have passed it up or not done it. But I'm really glad that I stuck with it. So I'd say just do it again and stick with it, and don't set too large of goals and pass up the necessary, not fun stuff you got to do to get there.
If you were given $10 million tomorrow, not saying you don't have 10 million, but if somebody wrote you a check for $10 million, what would you do with it?
I'd go and be my own LP in the next year's worth of storage deals. I'd invest it all with my private equity company.
Love it. You must believe in your company. Back to your business. What's one challenge that you're facing right now? I know there's always numerous challenges, but what stands out as like the number one, or one of the main challenges you're looking at?
Yep. I've never grown a company from, 500 grand a month of revenue, $5 or $10 million valuation. Never grown one to the next level. And the next 5 years are going to be about me trying to do that, try to learn how to do that.
So who do you, again, not this is not written, but who do you follow for that? I mean, you mentioned a couple of guys, that are big in real estate and big on Twitter, but who do you follow from a business standpoint so that you can kind of emulate?
Yeah, I have a lot of mentors and people that I look up to, but I mean, this all is kind of secondary, like living a good life and being a good husband and being a good dad to my kids, and also having fun. Like that stuff's
Mhm.
important. And
Yeah.
far too many of like far too many famous or like really, really, really successful people.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want their life. Like I wouldn't want
Sure.
the wake of destruction they've left behind them when it comes to relationships. And, you know, the physical health is important and having hobbies is important. Just, I look at life as a kind of a balanced thing. So it's not that I don't look up to people at all, but I look for a mentor who has the other areas of life too, because I don't want
Mhm.
to be a one-dimensional person.
What's one of the in your industry, what's one of the personality traits that you think is required to be successful?
I think you have to be, to generate serious wealth, you have to be charismatic and be able to bring people together. And if you
Love that.
can't get people excited, if you can't lead other people and make them want to follow you,
Yeah.
and people naturally gravitate towards the person who has the most energy and is the most excitable and is in the best mood. So if you're not energetic,
Mhm.
not excitable, and you're grumpy all the time, like good luck getting rich. Good luck.
Love that. It's awesome. Is that something you've just kind of always had a knack for? Or I mean, I imagine you're intentional about trying to develop those leadership skills, right?
I think I got a lot of it from my dad, who's loud and wants everybody to be having a good time for sure.
Got it. Any other kind of productivity hacks that you have for entrepreneurs out there? Anything that comes to mind?
I think writing and learning how to write well is a
Mm,
superpower. So
it's really good.
if you can practice writing copy, writing short emails, writing short, punchy, informational, I run my company with the written word, period. If you have to pick up the phone to get a message across, you are going to get passed up in business.
Mm,
So learning how to write well and learning how to write sales copy and learn how to, get points across and get your ideas across with the
mhm.
written word in a clear and concise way. The only way you can get better at it is to practice. But um, if you start to practice that, you're gonna watch your effectiveness skyrocket.
Awesome. So speaking of writing or reading, what's a book or two that you could recommend for our listener?
I like I'll kind of say two books that are not mainstream. Everybody loves Atomic Habits and
Sure.
uh 5 hour 4 hour work week or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like the book Entre Leadership by Dave Ramsey. He's
Okay.
Everybody thinks of him as a super Christian, no debt, like personal finance guy, but he's
Yeah.
also a really good businessman who has grown a media empire and he's been through a
Mm,
lot in real estate and small business. So his book
mm,
Entre Leadership is really good. There's also a book called The Goal by Elihu Goldratt,
mm,
and it's about bottlenecks in your business. It's a fictional story told to get a point across about business, and it's about bottlenecks and how to your job as CEO or owner of a business is to remove bottlenecks at all times. Sometimes that
mm,
bottleneck is yourself, sometimes it's an
mm.
employee, sometimes it's the way the information's flowing around your company. But if you can remove those bottlenecks, then it kind of unlocks your business for growth, and that's a big mindset shift for me.
That's great.
Big news, guys. I created a free PDF that details my method on how I analyze a self-storage facility and figure out what it's worth. Give me a pen, the back of a napkin, and a couple metrics, and I can figure out about what the property is going to be worth to me. If you want to download this PDF, click in the show notes, the first link, and you can give me your email address, and you get a email right away with a 4-page PDF that outlines exactly how I think about underwriting or giving my initial analysis on a self-storage facility. Again, click the link in the show notes, and you're going to get that document for free. Before you go, we have a new sponsor of the show, recostseg.com. And if you bought a piece of real estate, you need to get a cost segregation study done. It's what allows you to get all that sweet, sweet bonus depreciation, and it's how real estate investors like me and many others pay almost nothing in taxes on an annual basis. You can cost seg a single family rental, a short-term rental, or a large commercial property. recostseg.com is affordable and aggressive and super fast to turn them around. They've done 10 plus cost segs for me this year. They're going to do many more for me. Visit recostseg.com to learn more.